Welcome, fellow coder, to the next lesson. Let me just take these bad boys off. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, in this one, we're going to be messing around with this guy right here that I've highlighted on the screen, which is the JSON property, or the created at, comes in as a string, and I want to treat this guy as an actual date, right? Because if it's just a string, it's not. You can't do as many things with a string if that string is actually a date, right? You can't take two strings and say, is this string before that one, chronologically speaking? I don't know. It's going to compare like the bytes of the string and say, is this one bigger than that one? And that's not helpful, right? I don't want to see if one string is bigger than the other. I want to know if the date is before or after that date, or if the dates are the same. Now, you can do strings that are the same, but like if you have two strings, I can't say, do these two strings happen on the same day? Because that might be something that I'm interested in doing, or within the same hour, right? But if they're strings, you can't do that. But if they're dates, then you can. You can dissect the date and say, well, they're on the same day. Are they within the same hour? Here's the hour. Let's compare those, right? So there's things that you can do with a date that you can't do with the string. So it's just the wrong type. So hopefully, cross your fingers, that all I need to do here is say local date time, right? And then import that. So hover over import. That comes from Java time package, which is built into Java as of what? Java 8 or something? When was this released? Was this Java 8? Yeah, 1.8. So 1.8 means 8. If someone has Java 8 and 1.8, they're the same thing. No one ever told me that, oddly enough. I had to figure that out on my own. Anyway, what's the problem? One related problem. Oh, right, our mock data. So our mocked data coming in, interesting. I'm thinking in my head, like, this is how the data is coming in from the API endpoint. It's coming in as a string. But I want to be able to parse it, and when you parse it, I think the thing that's used to map when you have a API endpoint data coming in and you map it with the get. Sorry, I should just say for this guy. When you do this guy, the get for entity, and it says this is the class I want to map it to. There's magic behind the scenes where it takes the string data that's coming in and actually potentially turns it into a local date. Or whatever, it converts it for you. However, because we are sort of defining this as a not just a string, but as a map of string and object, it's not exactly behaving like a true RESTful endpoint. So I'm wondering, maybe we can do this. Maybe I'm gonna call an audible and take this, because this is the actual JSON data. And maybe what we do is change this mock API endpoint to say, no, we're not returning a map of string and object. We're going to legitimately just return a string. And let's comment this out. And let's say that the matches is just a string equals, and then we paste in this string. Right? I wonder if that'll work. Because now there's no compilation error. Right? We're just literally returning a JSON string, and we're returning it as a string. Which is kind of how an API endpoint would function. It's a little messy, but that reflects more of what reality is, and you see it automatically put in the escape when you have a double quote inside of when you want to actually pass in a double quote inside of a string, you have to escape it with a backslash. So it's putting in all the escapes and stuff like that. So yeah, it's a little messy, but it could work. So let's see. Let's hit play. And let's see if it matches it appropriately or if it fails catastrophically. Cross your fingers. Basically, okay, so there you go. So at least it broke where we thought it was going to break, which is date time parse exception, right? Let me stop the thing from calling it every 5 seconds. So it says, hey, the text, February 4th, blah, 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 could not be parsed at index 0. So it's having trouble. So we need to figure out, remember I said in the last video at the end, dealing with dates is always a pain in the butt. We could have multiple videos just diving into fixing this bug. Okay, so how are we going to fix this? In our service, this is where it breaks, right? It's trying to do the mapping. It's like we need to have a parser for that date. And I don't know the answer. So let's go to good old Google. I'll try the Google first. I'll say parse Java, parse local date time from string, from API string response, or something like that. How to handle a local date time from API that returns date time in different format. Okay, so he's using a REST template, blah, 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 cannot deserialize. So I guess you're looking for a method which will receive, well, yes, I know that you can do this so you can do this, a datetime formatter of pattern, and you type in the pattern that you expect to receive the date and time in, so you can parse it this way. However, yes, that's how you do that. However, I need to tie that into how the get for entity works. So maybe I need to put that into my query. So let's say Java REST template get for entity parse local. There you go, local date time. I'm writing REST controller in Spring Java. One of my endpoints should return local datetime variable. Oh, interesting. Okay. I don't know if that's what I want to do, but let's scroll and look at their... I don't... Okay, wait. So configure message... Yeah, so this is sort of what I was imagining you might need to do. You need to define an object mapper. This might be what I need to do. How long ago was this answer? 2020, so not too long ago. Configure message converters. Mapping Jackson to HTTP message converter, object mapper, blah. But how do we just say this is for... Because we don't want to say map everything as a date, time, whatever. Oh, add deserializer local datetime class is new local datetime serializer. And the local datetime serial... Yeah, this might work. Let's try this. So this has a whole new class, an MVC config class. Fair enough. Let's put this into like a config package. Usually if you have any configurations or something like this, then we can put that into a config package. And we'll call this MVC config? MVC config, yeah. And then we'll paste in his code. I hate it when they don't include the imports, because now I need to do all the imports myself. Is there a way... Oh god, this is in inspect code cleanup. How do you do dependencies? No. How do you do generate open find usages? I should know this. In Eclipse, you do Control-Shift-O, and it just automatically imports everything. I think there's a way to do this not in the menu, but rather when you save the code, it will, can I say code cleanup? No. Okay, let me just what did it say? Alt-Enter? Yeah, Alt-Enter. Import. Alt-Enter. Alt-Enter. You see, I want to do this all at the same time. I don't want to have to keep hitting Alt-Enter, right? It's just, this is such a slower way to do it. Now, I'm sure people who are familiar with, what you call it? What's this thing called? IDE? IntelliJ. I'm sure people who know IntelliJ know the way to do this. I just don't like to unsave. I don't like to have it, hold on, what's this? I don't like to have it do the imports on save, because sometimes it imports the wrong thing and it's a big pain in the butt. Inner class may be static. Class message is never used. Well, I don't know if that's true. Okay, so let's see if this works. So, you know, let's shoot from the hip and just see if that properly maps everything. Different error. Cannot construct instance of course report API response. Let me hit stop so it doesn't. Oops. Come on. Although at least one creator exists, no string argument constructor factory method is deserialized from the string value of all of this stuff. Yeah, so this is what I was thinking is the I think what this code is trying to do is just try to take the entire string, not just the individual. It's not trying to take the individual local date string, the created at string. It's trying to take the whole thing and convert it as a local date time, which, no, that's not what I want to do. So, get for entity parse, local date time. How to parse REST API JSON data comprising of uppercase. Let's have a look at this one. Yeah, so none of this has to do with parsing. All right, so when I'm struggling with the Google, I go over to my friend ChatGPT, and I have a conversation with it. So let's, I won't say with him, with her. Does ChatGPT have a gender? I don't know. It shall do. So, and I just explain my situation. I'm trying to parse a JSON response from an API endpoint in Java using a REST template.get for entity method. However, the one of the properties from the response, from the API response, needs to be parsed as a local date time. However, it's coming in as a string. How can you do this with how can you do this? Let's just leave it at that. Let's see what it says. So parsing a JSON response that includes a datetime string into a local datetime in Java using REST template involves a few steps. You need to ensure the datetime string is correctly deserialized into, okay, blah, 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 blah. Let me just see. So annotate the model class. So, yeah, this. Nice. That's what we're missing. So, this is, so wherever it is, you need to add those annotations. So, it is where? Match DTO? Yeah, so, and then does it say local? Yeah, so local datetime. So, we have JSON property, but we should also use these other things too, which is JSON deserialize, local. Yeah, see, that's what we had. The local datetime deserializer was in this MBC config, right? Local datetime deserializer. But that was saying let's deserialize the entire thing as local datetime. But I don't want to do the entire thing. I just want to do one property. So this would work if the entire thing, if the entire response should be mapped as a local datetime. Although I like ChatGPT's response better. So let me remove the config here, because we don't need it, in my opinion. Okay, so we do that. Let's go back to the match GTO. So JSON format, string pattern. So what is the pattern, right? So the pattern is, let's get the example of the pattern. Oh, we're going over time on this one. Well, I told you it was going to take a while, and I told you dates are a pain in the butt. Here's an example of the format, right? So, what is this? This is what? Triple M for the full month, and then D for 1 day, comma, and then 4 things here. Oh, and it says at. It says the word at. I don't know if you can do that. I don't think I can just say at. and then 7:33 a.m. So that is, oh gosh, H M M. No, capital M's for minute. AM PM. Oh gosh, what is that? Oh, I don't remember. E. Oh gosh. Okay, I'm gonna need to look this up. So here we go. Let's ask ChatGPT. Okay. How would you parse this string as a local date time object in Java? I don't know if I would use a datetime formatter. Since your primary string includes a UTC, it's a zoned. Ah, okay, nice. We should be using a zone. So define the pattern. Oh, that's how you do it with. See, this is where ChatGPT is the king or the queen or whatever you want to call it. Silly little stupid things like this where I would have to Google for hours probably. Well, I might not have to Google for hours, but I'd be Googling a long time to find this, right? This is the pattern I want, right? Boom, done. So it's actually quadruple M, 1D, 4 Ys, at is surrounded by single quotes, hour, minute, and then it was A, not E. I thought it was an E. So I was almost there. I was close. But I would have struggled, right? Now, let's, should we call this a zoned date time key deserializer? No, incompatible. Well, let's see what it says, right? And then it says to parse it as a zoned. Let's just see how that goes. Let's leave it as is and reboot. Roll those R's. Does it crash? Oh, it still crashes. Could not be parsed at index 24. Okay, so not at index 0 anymore. It's at index 24. Which is, I don't know, what is it? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So the AM, PM could be what's throwing it off. Maybe it is wrong. Maybe it's not lowercase a. How to parse time with AM, PM to local date time. Show me the money. Date time formatter. Huh. Format time stamp. Yeah, A is AM PM. A. Is that because... Do I need a space here? I wonder if I need a space. There is a space here. Hour, minute, second. Hour, minute, and then A. If I put a space, is that going to work? No, it's still upset. So let me say that this is the pattern I'm using. I'm trying to parse the string blah with this date time formatter pattern. And the string is this guy. so. Oop, I missed. Like so. However, I'm getting the following error. Boom. What's up? Is likely due to the case sensitivity of the AM/PM marker. Okay. Is case sensitive, which means it distinguishes between lowercase AM/PM and uppercase. The string you're trying to parse uses lowercase, but the locale or formatter's default is uppercase. Okay. To address this issue, you can either adjust the string to match the expected or make the formatter case insensitive. Making the formatter case insensitive is usually the more flexible solution as it allows your code to... blah, blah, blah. So... parse case insensitive. Okay. Shape pattern. Can I... lenient? Is that what I would want to do? How would you make it case insensitive with the JSON format annotation? It's not directly supported. Oh no. However, you can achieve case insensitive by parsing the date by customizing the object. Oh, no. I don't want it. That's what I... Well, that might work. Okay. Or a custom deserializer. What if I say lenient? Lenient equals, and then put true. Do I have to put true like this? Well, required opt boolean. What the heck is an opt boolean? True. Okay. I'm grasping at straws there for lenient. We'll see. I don't have high hopes that this will work. So let's see. Oh. I mean, the other thing we can do is we could force it to be uppercase, potentially, when we get the response back. Is that possible? Oh, man, this is going to be a pain in the butt. Didn't I promise you a pain in the butt? Promised and delivered. Could I make the whole thing uppercase easily? Let's see. Can we, Jackson... Is it Jackson mapping? Let's do JSON property, convert to uppercase. Let's just see if there's something along those lines. Right? Can I make it since... JSON naming? No. How to convert JSON key to uppercase? Don't know if this is what I want to do, but do we have any sort of... Okay, no, I don't want to go through all that. Sorry. How to parse rest? Yeah, I know about JSON property, JSON format, pattern, custom local date deserializer. I mean, we could maybe do that. We could maybe make our own custom one, but good lord, that's annoying. Convert the all value to uppercase when using whatever. Is this possible? No, your best bet would be to use write a custom JSON deserializer. Yeah, so it sounds like that's what we have to do. Oh my gosh, all because it's a lowercase AMPM. Like there's got to be a way, man. Come on. Really? So this is saying making datetime parsing case sensitive directly within the JSON format is not supported. The JSON format allows you to specify the pattern and the shape, but it does not offer built-in option for instead. However, you can achieve case insensitive by customizing the object mapper. Public class config. Then use the object mapper for your REST template. Now, it's also could be because, maybe it's the wrong annotation I'm using. Right? Is there any... Like maybe we do the same thing with this one. So we can say, can you make the annotation parse the local date time with case oh gosh, how do you spell that? Insensitivity? Anyway, let's see. You can use JSON deserialize with a custom deserializer. Yeah, that's... So, it seems as though they're really trying to force my hand and say, dude, you gotta use a custom deserializer. Okay, so we'll just make that. I think this is probably the best bet, right? We'll create a custom one and we'll use that. What is this event? Using this custom in your... Oh, it's showing me how to use it. Okay. Let's just take this with these. So yeah, I like that it provides the imports. So, oh gosh, I guess we'll put the config back, right? So we'll put the package config back in place. We will say new Java class. We'll call this, what do we call it? Custom local datetime deserializer. Custom local datetime deserializer. Is that how you spell it? Or is it an S? It's a Z. Z? Datetime format builder. Deserialize. So, parse case insensitive, append pattern, blah, to English, deserialize, blah, blah, blah. So we take this custom deserializer that we've created and we plug it in here. So instead of a local datetime, we use the custom local datetime. Okay. Cross your fingers. Come on. No, it can't be parsed at index 19. Okay, well maybe we copied it wrong or something. I mean, I think that's right? 4Ms. Yeah. So perhaps the problem is that we are getting too crazy, which is here we don't need a pattern, maybe. Oh, and then lenient is also, you can turn that off. So because we're using this deserializer, it already has the format in it. And maybe we don't need this either. So we just use the JSON deserializer because that has the pattern. I don't know. Let's find out. Only one way to find out. Oh man, I gotta get going. I gotta pick up my son from daycare. No, it still doesn't like it. Could not be parsed at index 19. Oh, look. There's no space? Hold on a second. Okay, let me look at, maybe my data coming in is probably wrong, which is my fault, not its fault. All right, so where, here, match GTU, no, the mock API controller. So, yeah, what was that, February, what do I search for? February 3 or something? Oh, it's still going. So let me search for this string. There it is. So this is just, it's just wrong. It needs a space, right? That the data wouldn't come in like that. It wouldn't come in wrong. At least it shouldn't come in wrong. It should come in the way we expect it to come in terms of the parsing. So yeah, maybe this will work. This feels good to me. There you go. Hallelujah. So now we have the what do you call it? Match DTO is properly parsing this created at as an actual date time, right? So this is the date time that it's coming in as, which may or may not be correct in terms of the exact time. So that the next step is to figure out the time zoning issues, because it could be wrong, right? So if we look at the time zone of the data coming in, where is it? In the mock API controller, we look at the first time, so February 4th at 9:19 a.m. No, it's coming in as 9:19 a.m. Good. That looks correct to me. So that it seems like the time zones, it says, whatever. It as long as it comes in like that, I don't think we don't need to modify it to say, this is saying UTC, which means, Greenwich Mean Time or whatever. It's for us in the Eastern, well, I'm in the Eastern time zone, that's like, 5 hours ahead of me or whatever at this point in time. But as long as we're comparing apples to apples, then that's fine with me. I don't have a problem with the time zone stuff. So cool. I think we're good. I think now we have this being mapped appropriately. So now that we have it mapped, we can start getting our hands dirty with the fun stuff, which is actually putting some real business logic in here to say, okay, now that the matches are coming in, let's store it in a database, and then let's do something with the data that's coming in. Let's do something useful with the data other than just reading it. Let's do something with it, right? Cool. So looking forward to seeing you in the next one. Take care of yourselves.